Okay, you may be wondering why I'm outside on a cold, rainy day tying knots, and the answer is why not? Okay, so we're going to go over the figure eight. This is real basic. Again, the shoulder to the sharp end of the rope, add a couple inches. Right here, I'm going to make a bend, okay, or a bite, excuse me, a bite in the rope. That is a bend in the rope. I'm going to take the strand that I'm holding and kind of put it in front of the other strand. Then I'm going to drop it and reach around to grab the sharp end. So I've gone around once, full time. And then I'm going to come back up through the bite that I created, which creates my figure eight. Okay, so once again, I'm going to untie that. I measure, add a little bit. I make a bite in the rope. I go over this strand, come all the way around, and then up through the bite that I created, which is a figure eight. Okay, the next part. Once you've got your figure eight properly tied and the length is appropriate, which to me is generally about from my shoulder, holding the sharp end of the rope the other way. It all depends on the thickness of the rope, the type of harness, a number of factors, how long your arms are. So then I'm going to take that and go through both hard points of my harness if I'm wearing a climbing style harness. And then this is the trace part, okay, or the rewoven figure eight. I'm just going to adjust that. Okay, so this is how I am orienting the knot and looking at it. And I need to follow this strand all the way through, behind, around, through, down, out, so that the sharp end of the rope here is aligned like this with the working end of the rope, which is the one that is going to take the weight. So in order to do that, I'm going to follow this. I'm going to drive the car kind of right along the freeway. I'm just going to go under the underpass here and up through. I'm just going to come around like this. Now before I go around like this, I'm just going to pull the whole thing close to my harness. Just to make sure you can see that. Okay. So again, if I keep that oriented this way, this comes around the back. So this strand, the sharp end needs to come around the back to follow this. And I can see where it goes in here. So I need to follow that through there. It's going to go in that hole. Okay, so that's all aligned. And it's going to come around this way and up through this big hole right here. So all the way around again, and then up through and out, and pull it tight. Okay. Now I have mentioned many times dressing your knot. So in this instance, all I need to do is push this over and then pull on each of the four strands independently, and I've got my figure eight follow through. Now, sometimes I end up with a loop that's a little too large here, so I may want to take some slack out, and I can just, there's a couple ways to do that. I can untie this part way and just pull it closer to my harness and then finish it. Okay. Again, pull on all four strands to tighten it up, and it's nicely dressed. Figure eight follow through, tied into my harness. And again, if you're rock climbing, all you need is this tail to be about twice the length of your knot. That's a general rule. So as long as the tail was about this long, I'd be good to go. But in the challenge course world, we actually, the industry standard is to have what we call a backup knot, a barrel knot. And to tie the barrel knot, I'm going to take the sharp end, I'm going to point grab the knot and point my finger down the working end, wrap the sharp end around my finger and the rope, wrap it one more time around, creating an X because I'm wrapping it toward my hand, all the way around, and then I'm going to replace my finger and have this pointing the same way. Okay, so place my finger, and when I do this, it's nice to try to keep this barrel knot situated right on top of the figure 8 knot, or whatever knot it is that it is serving as a backup for. Okay? And then again, the length of this tail needs to be twice the length of the knot. So this is the barrel knot, and the tail is twice as long as the barrel knot. Okay? So it's about 4 inches maybe. Great. That there is the figure 8